What's goody everyone? I hope y'all are having a great day so far. Today, I want to touch on a game that's creating a big amount of buzz in the gaming space at the moment. If you didn't see the title or you want to play into my anticipation skills a little bit, thank you so much for that. We're talking about GrayZone Warfare, an immersive tactical first-person shooter with the maximum focus being on realism. They recently put out some new information about the game and I feel like covering it because the level of detail going into this game is impressive, but it has me wondering about a couple things along the way. But if you like what you see today, be sure to sub to the channel. I would deeply appreciate it. Alrighty, so we're on DEVLOG 3 and they're introducing their ballistic system. If y'all want to read over this for yourself, I'll be leaving the link down below, but I'm gonna break everything down so it's nice and simplistic. Starting off, they open up by stating that their ammunition will display unique and real-life characteristics gained from the materials comprising their jacket and core. We have SP rounds, or otherwise known as soft point rounds, that are made to expand upon impact, being the most effective against unarmored targets. Then we have AP, or armor piercing rounds, that are made to pierce through armored defenses. And finally, we have HP, or hollow point bullets, that are designed to expand upon entry and cause more damage than its two former counterparts. They then go on to provide a step-by-step on how the simulation will work for these bullets, and it's like they damn near got this boiled down to a science. The first part is how it accounts for jacket damage and detachment. If I understand this right, pretty much the game calculates how the outer casing of a bullet gets damaged and how it may break apart upon impact. They show off a bit of the ballistics at play when comparing the soft lead core ammo like the FMJ to the tungsten core AP. Obviously, the AP rounds are going to pierce through any sort of metal pretty damn effortlessly, so rule number one when it comes to this game, don't think you're safe behind metal. Second, it'll simulate mushroom and disintegration. If you don't know what that means, it'll simulate how the core of a bullet changes shape upon hitting a target, sometimes expanding like a mushroom, and how it might break apart. This is something that I'm actually really excited about because a lot of games really only simulate the damage when it comes to the rounds. In the footage, we can see the impact these rounds will look like on ballistic gel, which, by the way, would be such a kick-ass thing to add to the training range. This shows off when a bullet is fired directly into the gel compared to being shot through something like wood. The impact is going to be significantly different, so given a situation, cover may save you or do nothing for you. So I actually have a buddy of mine that goes by the name of Crash Games that made a video testing these sorts of things out on a piece of wood. Gruesome, I know. But go check it out regardless, okay? It gives some insight on how different cores and calibers affects things as mundane as a 2x4. Third, it'll incorporate ricochet and projectile destabilization physics while considering the bullet's rotation. We can see in the footage that the ricochet patterns will not be consistent and it all depends on the surfaces that you hit. Further down the article, it says that the model accounts for both the projectile and the obstacle's characteristics. They provide the example that wood is going to yield a higher ricochet angle and lower velocity compared to shooting something like steel. Finally, it'll simulate physical damage on the body, calculating both temporary and even permanent cavities in soft tissue. I think that one is pretty self-explanatory, but in case it isn't, there's a GIF showing off a little bit of what this looks like. It also highlights the chance of there being ricochet when the player is wearing body armor. Now, one thing that I'm seeing a lot of different creators that are covering GrayZone Warfare are highlighting, and for a good reason, is the recoil in this game actually accounts for different things, including muzzle velocity, weight of the gun, and how much ammunition is in the magazine. It's pretty common for games to calculate recoil based off only the weapon itself and then whatever attachments you throw on it, but for the devs to consider the weight of the weapon based off how much ammo is in it is insane. I think that's about it I want to touch on for now, and obviously the DEVLOG wasn't too big, but it's just something that I wanted to cover nonetheless. But if you want to read over everything for yourself, go ahead and click the links down below and check it out. Hell, go wishlist GrayZone Warfare on Steam. It's well deserved. For my final thoughts, I don't know if there's any other way I can say how impressed I am at the work that's being put into this game. Saying this game is advanced doesn't do it justice in my eyes, right? You have all these different components that all tie into each other, but from the outside looking in, it seems not only intricate, but overwhelming as fuck to explain. And I can only imagine the dev team wanting to keep showing things again and again and again, but they have to keep playing the waiting game because they don't want to give too much away. Now, one thing amongst the list of things I am nervous about when it comes to this game, and I don't know if I have a right to be nervous about it or if I'm just being paranoid for no reason, is the amount of coding that's going into all of these bullet mechanics. I don't know why, but I have this nightmare in my head that it's going to end up being spaghetti code and it's going to cause conflicts in other areas of the simulations when it comes to the ammo. I honestly don't know how they're doing it now, but if it's working on a smaller scale, i.e. the test environment, I can't see why it can't translate into the game's huge environment. But while we're on the topic of all these intricacies, I can already see some particular gamers commenting saying that the game doesn't need to be this advanced to be a milsim, and for that, the only thing I can say is that it's okay to admit if the game isn't going to be for you. Don't get me wrong, there are games that don't need to be more technologically advanced than one of Elon Musk's rockets, but this is the vision that GrayZone Warfare wants to go with. Do they need to have projectile simulation? No, but give me a list of games that have that. Does GrayZone need to have this level of detail and everything? No, but give me a list of games that go all in on the details. You know what that is in my eyes? A +1 for their marketing. A gold medal they can flaunt when showcasing this game to investors. And something that'll get people that are into milsim shooters like Squad and Hell Let Loose interested, something that'll get people like into Escape from Tarkov interested, and hell, this can possibly be their golden ticket to put asses in seats to play their game. If you think stuff like this is going to negatively impact the game's experience for you, and the keyword is for you, it's okay to admit that these kind of games are not your cup of tea. I can boldly admit that Tarkov Arena was more of my speed because I can't be asked to fucking read a chart that goes over the different ammo types and then try to sort out which ones are better than the other and look for those in raid. I don't have time for that. But I think if GrayZone Warfare can nail that aspect perfectly to where you don't need to invest an entire summer into studying ammo charts, it'll already have a +1 over the competition in that aspect. Now, as far as what the devlogs are showing us, it's a very flattering form of eye candy. Seeing the progress being made, reading about the mechanics within GrayZone is great, but a lot of people's hesitation will be reevaluated once we see some raw gameplay. To be fair, they have put in the Discord that the gameplay is coming soon, but there's no official date on when that's happening, so really all we can do is just wait. That being said, I think what they gotta cover in this gameplay are all the areas that the people are most curious about. That being traders, hideouts, combat, missions, now the ballistics, and I'm sure there's a lot more I'm leaving off the list, but the only reason I'm saying that is because many gamers who know of GrayZone Warfare are at a point now where they need to see if the game will walk the walk. I want to say that I'm in the camp of I'm gonna believe what they're telling us when it comes to everything in the game. I wholeheartedly believe that they can pull this off, but what I want to see is some gameplay. I want to see the combat. I want to see some patrolling. I want to see this game in such a positive position that all people can do is look forward to the game's launch. But now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about GrayZone Warfare. And while you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button and collateral that sub button to all so YouTube can show you my content free of charge. I also want to give a major shout out to all the members of the channel. Y'all are absolute badasses. Thank you so much for the continued support. This is Sir Blackout signing off to go twiddle my thumbs or something. I didn't have a clever outro for this. I'm sorry, guys. Later.